Well, good morning, and welcome back to our pilgrimage through the summer. Today's day 22 at the Institute for Priestly Formation, as well as Monday of the 11th week of Ordinary Time. And as the summer continues, of course, this week we have the two programs running concurrently as we've had all week last week. The spiritual directors at seminaries this week will learn more about how to really focus on the spiritual experience within the directee, really the heart of spiritual direction. The seminarians this week in the two classes in the afternoon, they'll focus on the spirituality, diocesan priesthood, and really the five what we call benchmark identities that really, you might say, express and make up the identity of the diocesan priest. Mainly that every priest is a beloved son, a chaste spouse, a spiritual father, a spiritual physician, and a good shepherd. And living in those five identities, you might say, tells the seminarian or the priest who he is, and therefore tells him what he does. In the morning class this morning, the seminarians will learn more about freedom and how to freely embrace the gift of celibacy, the gift of their sexuality, and how oftentimes the things within their heart can hold them in unfreedom. And this morning's class will focus on two specific things, anger and resentment, and how that can often bind us in unfreedom. So if you were at IPF this summer, we might invite you to take a look at your heart this morning, to ask yourselves, where are you perhaps in need of freedom? Perhaps there are things in your life that the Lord needs to touch. Perhaps there are things in your life that the Lord wants to heal. Reminded of a great story that we heard in a homily this summer from one of our adjunct spiritual directors, and as he had served across the world and done some mission work overseas, he was telling the story of how you catch a monkey. And in that area of the world, what they do is they tie a coconut to a tree. They drill a hole in the top of the coconut just big enough for the monkey's hand, and then they'll put a banana or something else inside the coconut. What happens is the monkey sees the coconut, sees the banana inside the coconut, sticks his hand in through the hole, grabs the banana, but it can't take it out because the hole is not big enough for both his hand and the banana. And because the coconut's tied to a tree, the monkey won't let go. He won't let go of the very thing that is guaranteeing his unfreedom. And that's all you have to do. That's how you catch a monkey. We can hold on to the very things that guarantee our unfreedom sometimes. That's what anger and resentment is. It's the things that we hold on to. That's what unforgiveness is. It's the things that we hold on to. Our past, protecting ourselves. We hold on to those things, and it guarantees our unfreedom sometimes. And of course, God desires all of you. He desires your freedom. He desires for us to be free to love Him and to serve Him. And so if you were at IPF today, I would encourage you to just look inside your heart, and I would encourage you with the same passage that I have encouraged many of the men that I've walked with, and that's John chapter 11. Of course, John chapter 11 is that great story of the healing and the resuscitation of Lazarus, who has died and who's bound, who's locked away in a tomb. And the door of that tomb is locked and sealed. Of course, Jesus is not afraid. He's unafraid of the things that are there. And as he rolls away the stone, he calls Lazarus forth, and then he says, unbind him. Lazarus had been bound with the burial cloths. He had been bound with things that were holding him in the tomb. And Jesus oftentimes wants to come into the tombs of our heart, the sealed places, the locked doors in our heart. And He desires to bring us freedom, as He says to us, unbind you. So be not afraid today. Let's trust the process. Let's trust the Lord. Let's look inside our hearts today. Let's ask ourselves, where is it that we need to be unbound? Where is it that we are holding on to our bananas and coconuts? If there's anger or resentment or unforgiveness, let's surrender that to the Lord. Let's trust in His mercy so that the Lord can give us the freedom that draws us into communion. God bless you.